A father's absence can have a serious effect on a child. Fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school and 11 times more likely to exhibit violent behavior. I'm attorney Jeffrey Leving, and I've been protecting the rights of fathers for more than 30 years. Dads, don't lose your important relationship with your children. Call 312-356-DADS. That's 312-356-DADS for help and a free Father's Rights Information Kit. For more information, visit dadsrights.com.
Now, more of your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by JeffBuysYourHouse.com, Access, Level 10 Coatings, Steiner Homes, Center Guard Plumbing, and by American Beam and Steel. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. The show is all about your home. We talk about everything. And, I'll give you one little hint. If you spend the next few minutes with us, you're probably going to pick up a tip or two that you probably didn't know, whether you use professionals all the time or you're do-it-yourselfer. Today we're going to talk about bathrooms. It's always a great topic to talk about because it's one of those big things in your house that you're always looking to remodel. And we've got a special guest today, Tom Boer with Century City Baths and Remodels. Tom, thanks for coming in. Thanks for being part of the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, bathroom remodels. People talk about them all the time, and there always seems to be a subject, whether you're looking to sell your house or just upgrade it. Bathrooms, kitchens, that seems to be the focus all the time. And bathroom remodeling is really interesting because, there's so many things that you can do, but you have to be careful to make sure that your investment is correct. So, you've been doing it a long time. Give us some hints. If somebody is looking, they go, you know what? I want a new bathroom. I'm not real happy with it. What are the things that they should think about and consider when they're looking to have somebody do it for them?
Well, there's two things to consider. First is the quality of the labor. And generally for that, you get what you pay for. The second is the quality of the products. So sometimes you can have a fantastic installation, but the quality of the products is so low. Mm-hmm. Anyone can make a tiled shower look good on the first day. The question is, how is it going to look a year from now, 2 years from now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you spend a whole bunch of money on a shower and you get mold and stuff growing in there 2 years from now, it's a terrible investment, right?
Yeah.
So the last thing you want is to have a new bathroom that ends up looking worse than the one you had before. So using the proper products and the proper labor, that's the best place to start.
Okay, so the first thing to do if let's say you don't have anybody and you want some help, what are the questions that you should be asking when you're interviewing people to do the project for you?
There's two questions you should be asking. First of all, what are the products that you're using behind the tile, so the stuff that you can't see?
Right.
The second is, what is your guarantee? What's your warranty on the installation, and how long does that last for? Mm-hmm. Oftentimes the answer is zero. Oftentimes there is no warranty whatsoever, which shouldn't inspire a lot of confidence in a lot of people.
Yeah, that is. And, you talk about the stuff behind what you see. That's important because that has a lot to do with how long it's going to last and the durability and things like that, right?
Yeah, so there's actually some studies out there that show that the average failure rate for a shower in a 5-year period is about 40%. 40%? 40%. And the definition of failure would be either rot, leaks, mold, or mildew. Uh-huh. And there are some websites out there that put the failure rate as high as 40%. And that's almost entirely related to the products that are used. So starting with grout, for instance. Do you know what grout's made out of?
It's like sand, and it's porous material.
Correct, sand, yeah. So the base material used in making grout is sand. And the issue with sand is that it's porous, right? So moisture will penetrate through that grout. It gets on the backer board behind, and when you get a wet wall, that's when you get the mold.
Yeah, you don't want that.
The rot and everything else. And that's a disaster when that happens because there is no fix for that. Once the mold gets behind your tile, the only way to fix it is to demo it out and start all over.
Yeah, you just got to tear it out. There's nothing else you can do.
Exactly.
There's been a big trend, it seems, and it's caused a little bit of controversy, and that is going to, taking a tub and going to a shower completely. Realtors are saying, listen, you got to keep at least one bathtub in your house somewhere because the resale value on that, if people want a tub and you don't have one, that's a problem. But there's been a ton of conversions of getting rid of the bathtub. Isn't there? What do you think about that?
Well, so I generally agree with realtors that you should have one tub in the home. However, That does depend on the market. So, for example, if you're a senior citizen and you have accessibility issues and you live in an area where you're likely to sell your home to another senior citizen, it really doesn't matter. You don't need to have one tub in your home. In fact, this person you're selling to is more likely to prefer a walk-in shower.
Right, sure.
That being said, if you live in an area where there's a lot of families and the next buyer of your home is likely to be a family with kids, you do want to have at least one tub in the home for sure.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that when you're making an investment in the home, that it's something that's going to pay off for you. So you've got to, think about those things a little bit.
Correct. And bathrooms have one of the highest ROIs that you can get in any home improvement project.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
Remodeling Magazine says that there's a 61% instant cost recouped. So that means if you spent $10,000 on a shower, your home would increase in value the day that the project's finished by $6,000. Now, if a project is done well, that shower is going to appreciate with the rest of the home. If it's done improperly and there's mold and stuff and leaks a year down the line, then that's a huge sunk cost, and that's what you want to avoid.
The one thing about a bathroom, much like a kitchen, is that there are really, there's nothing to hide. I mean, you either like it or you don't. You can see problems or you don't. So it's very important that you choose right.
Well, the interesting thing about bathrooms is there was a study out there, I believe it's from the Consumer Federation of America, and they asked homeowners about the projects they did over the past 2 years, and they broke down the type of project by satisfaction rate. So bathroom remodeling had the lowest satisfaction rate out of any project you could do in your home.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because there's so much more that can go wrong in a bathroom, right?
Okay.
So, if you're doing a kitchen, you don't really have to worry about mold as much, leaks, rot, that type of thing. Whereas in a shower specifically, there's hundreds of gallons being used every single day in that shower. It's under a lot more stress.
That's
true. A lot more that can go wrong.
That's a good point. And we're talking bathroom remodels today. It's Thomas DeBoer with Century City Baths and Remodels. And like I always recommend, go to the website. Check it out. There you get the pictures. You get everything about it at centurycitybaths.com. Centurycitybaths.com. Phone number is 312-869-2562, 312-869-2562. And Thomas, you have a contest going on right now where people can pick up a free remodel. Tell us about that.
That's correct. So anyone who's a homeowner in the Chicagoland area can enter into this. You can go to our website. You can put in your contact information. You'll be entered into a sweepstakes that's going to be pulled at the end of the year. And you can get up to $25,000 put towards a bathroom remodel done by Century City Baths. Fully customizable. I'll send one of my design guys out. You can design the whole space with him. Anyone can enter. You don't need to purchase anything. If you sign up for a free estimate with us, you'll get a second entry as well.
Okay, very cool. And if somebody is looking at doing it, you'll help with design, right?
We have a full in-house design team. Their services are free of charge. So anyone in Chicagoland who wants to get an idea of design or just get a price or a ballpark on their bathroom, they can go to our website. We'll send someone out to their house free of charge, and he'll design the whole space with them in about 60 minutes.
Okay. And you can, get a free estimate anytime, give you a call, shoot an email, and get an estimate, have somebody come and take a look, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. We off the air talked about this. There is something out there that I really would like to know a little bit more about, and it's a low-maintenance waterproof tile solution. Tell us about that, because, tile's great, but it requires work. It's not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of thing. But tell us about this.
Well, as we mentioned before, the failure rates, especially in a shower, are quite high, and it's due to all the stress that's put on those walls. But in the past about 12 years, a new class of materials has been released that I don't think has gotten nearly as much publicity as it should have, which basically eliminates all of those problems. And these are foam boards. So the system that we use is called the Laticrete system, which is a low-maintenance, state-of-the-art waterproof method for installing tile. So the way that it works is it starts with a substrate that goes behind the tile. So instead of using, regular old drywall or green board or even Durarock, all of which have pretty high failure rates and are very high maintenance, their wall boards are actually made out of a waterproof polystyrene foam. A couple big benefits to that. Most important benefits is completely waterproof. So it's warranted for life against any leaks, any rot. Second is it's much quicker to install. Each 3x5 foot panel only weighs about a quarter pound, where Durarock weighs, between 30 and 50 pounds.
Yeah, it's heavy stuff.
So it's much quicker to install. If you're getting a walk-in shower, the entire shower base is actually made out of foam as well. Comes pre-sloped towards the drain. You can't mess it up. You put it on the ground. You tile right over it. You never have to worry about any leaks, mold, mildew, rot, etc.
So it's kind of like foam, but it's waterproof?
Yeah, it literally is foam. It's literally a piece of foam in the shape of like a drywall.
And what does it take the place of?
It takes the place of, for example, some contractors would use green board in your shower, which is not recommended. Other contractors would use Durarock, which is a type of cement board. And
then there's a membrane that's put in there, a waterproofing membrane.
The membrane is actually pre-attached to the foam board. So both sides of the foam board actually have a membrane pre-attached, and you just stick the tiles right on there.
Okay, so the advantage of using this is that you're going to have fewer problems. And if you do have a problem, it's going to be easier to fix, right?
Well, it doesn't just end there. So the Laticrete system is a fully comprehensive system. So that's just the first step. The second step is actually gluing the tiles to the wall. So we use their highest quality mortar. It's called Multi-Max Light. That's warranted for life against any loose or falling tile from your wall. But the most important step is actually the grout. So Laticrete invented this product a couple years ago called Spectralock 1, which is the first pre-mixed epoxy grout in the market. And I'll explain what that means. So epoxy grout is very different than a regular sanded grout in that it's completely impervious. So it's waterproof and it's therefore stain-proof. However, it is quite expensive to install because epoxy grout has to be combined from two components into one. It dries very quickly, so you don't find it in residential showers often. So Laticrete invented this product called Spectralock 1, which is the first pre-mixed epoxy grout. It cuts the labor down from a typical epoxy grout by about 90%, but it's warranted for life against any discoloration or mold.
What about sealing? Is it grout that you have to seal?
No, you don't. That's the perfect part about it.
And that can be a real advantage because a lot of times, you have to seal it to try to make it last a little bit longer.
Very low maintenance.
Tom Boer with Century City Baths and Remodels. You just do bathrooms, right?
That's right.
It's a specialist, and I always recommend you go to a specialist when you're looking at doing a project. You can contact him at 312-869-2562. And again, for bathroom remodeling, CenturyCityBaths.com. This is Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Step into a world reborn. Explore the fascinating story of life after the extinction of the dinosaurs, when enormous snakes, tiny horses, towering penguins, and strange primates ruled the tropical Earth. After the Age of Dinosaurs reveals a chapter in Earth's history that you never knew you were missing. Now on view at the Field Museum. Buy tickets now at fieldmuseum.org. That's fieldmuseum.org.